Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of August 15th. I'm Terry Morrow and I'm here with Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast we talk about parenting issues, but once a week Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, and books and other entertainment topics, but really just TV. Because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week, we continue with Season 2 of Only Murders in the Building and Season 1 of Rutherford Falls. Season 2, Episode 8 of Only Murders in the Building was entitled Hello Darkness. And whatever else happened in this episode, it won my heart forever by having a group sing of Sounds of Silence. Because that's what I thought of last week when you mentioned that's the title of this episode. Mm-hmm. And I thought, geez, I wonder if somebody will sing it. And everybody sang it. And I sang along because I still remember the lyrics.
And there was even yodeling.
Sang it. And there was yodeling. That made the episode for me. Mm-hmm. the great Sounds of Silence
the sing-along. Mm-hmm.
And remembering how profound I found that thing back as a young, unformed person.
Right. Even
anyway,
in the depths of the tunnels, they were hearing it and singing it.
Because if you know it, how can you not? The only thing I call foul on is I think Mabel was singing along, and there is no way that somebody Mabel's age would know all the lyrics to that song.
Yes, but if you have Selena Gomez, you're going to let her sing.
I guess so. Mabel's kind of a quirky kid. Maybe she sat around listening to a lot of Simon and Garfunkel when she was a formative stage. Maybe her dad played Simon and Garfunkel for her while they were putting puzzles together.
Yes.
But at least Lucy wasn't singing, was she?
They were looking for her
Lucy
at
was
the
in a
time.
different part of the tunnel at that time. So we'll just say she was going, what is this noise?
What are they doing? What are all these old people doing?
That's right. Sounds of my youth. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so this mostly took place in a blackout, although with conveniently placed cell phone lights and candles and all manner of convenient lighting so that we could see what was going on. Right. I saw somebody on social media, I think it was Alan Sepinwall, complaining that he expected the entire episode to actually be in the dark, and he was disappointed. But if I am misquoting you there, Alan Sepinwall, I know you listen to this podcast all the time. I apologize, but I think it was him. Anyway, I was, figuring that they would, as they do on this show, find all sorts of means to have some sort of lighting. Mm-hmm. But I guess the power came on before everybody's phones died, so that was a good thing.
Right.
They couldn't make phone calls, but they could light their way.
Yes.
But lots of little vignettes here, and
lots of new pairings of people.
Yes. Howard has found himself a friend who is inconveniently allergic to cats.
Right.
But seems to be willing to rise above.
Right.
With the help of a lint roller, they shall make their way.
Howard
I don't know if a lint roller is going to do it on a sweater, but okay.
I know. But Howard was like, I'll give away my cat.
I'll give away my cat.
He's serious if he's going to
That is a healthy ordering of priorities right there. Right. But more healthy than I would expect of Howard, but exactly. Good for him.
Right.
And we saw a lot of, or at least heard, Marv was a presence in this episode. Mm-hmm. Marv, the podcast fan, in his Only Murders in the Building sweatshirt. Mm-hmm. And, making good on his story about being a mold inspector and going through those dark passageways quite a lot. So somebody broke into Charles's apartment and started chasing Lucy, who immediately went into the tunnels and somehow managed to meet up with Charles and Oliver and Mabel, who were looking for her. Mm-hmm. And then they saw a guy and thought it was the person who was pursuing them, but it turned out to be Marv, who Lucy immediately knew, although how good a look did she get of the person who was pursuing her?
Right.
Immediately knew that it was not Marv.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Marv is a big guy, so...
That's true.
Maybe it was that.
And had that, like, weird stuff on his head, I guess.
That, like, big sort of gas mask thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. So... And then... Let's see.
Yeah, we knew that couldn't have... Since they caught that person,
yes,
we knew it couldn't have been the actual killer because it's not time yet.
With the help of Oliver's 50-pound bag of dips
right.
from the diner. But, and we had a little heartwarming scene between the doorman and Nina.
The board president.
President, who made the old man come up however many flights of stairs to bring her packages to hopefully make her baby shut up, I guess.
Right.
But then they had a very lovely scene together, so... Yes. She always starts out seeming nasty, and then by the end, she's just kind of sentimental.
Yes. So. She's realizing the value of the human doorman.
Absolutely. So hopefully the guy doesn't have a heart attack going back down the stairs. And, well, now I guess the elevator works.
I think maybe.
the lights come on right before he started down. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, finally at the end, the unpleasant detective is there.
Right.
Played
with
by...
some Michael Rappaport.
Right. And he's talking like he's maybe going to arrest Mabel, and he's asking them questions, but just at the end, what does Mabel see behind his ear but glitter?
Glitter.
Is he the glitter guy? Or does he just have some kinky thing with glitter? I don't know.
Does he moonlight as a preschool teacher? Find out.
Well, so looks bad for him. Mm-hmm. It's about the time where we can suspect him, I think. If this were episode 3, I would say, well, it's all a innocent mistake.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
You got glitter on you in episode 8.
It's close because there's still 2 more episodes, so...
Well, that's true. So, yeah, we got to start moving towards something, clearly. We almost got we're not really waiting to find out what Oliver's DNA test says, because we know. What we want to know is the son's DNA test legit? You wouldn't think that before going and getting his own DNA tested, he might talk to his ex-wife about it?
Right. Yeah, they never show her.
Well, I mean, his son could go and say, hey... What up with this?
Right. His son could go to his...
Why is he coming to his
mother.
dad?
Right.
I don't remember what the situation is with the mother, if they're... Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but the power conveniently went out just as he was getting the email and he couldn't open it. So.
Right.
Next week for that little clue, or non-clue, or completely blind alley, but something's going on. Anyway... We haven't actually seen Nathan Lane for this many episodes.
That's right. We haven't seen him. We haven't seen Shirley MacLaine. We haven't seen...
We have not.
Alice,
That's right. That whole painting thing is just a... Remember that from the first couple of episodes?
Oh, yeah.
When that seemed like that was going to be a thing, and now nobody mentions it?
Right. But don't forget about it, because it might come back.
They drop a lot of breadcrumbs on this show. You better hope there's no pigeons nearby, because they're going to go back to look for them, and they're going to be gone.
Gone.
And Amy Schumer. Is Amy Schumer still in the penthouse? Could be her.
If they put up a website, whokilledbunny.com.
Yes, I've seen ads for it.
Yes.
And it's like everybody is flashing through there.
It's literally every character.
Andrea Martin, who was on for such a short time that we failed to mention her in that episode.
Who even is she?
She was doing Charles's makeup when he was on the set of Brazos.
Yeah.
When he was in a wheelchair. And I went, that's Andrea Martin. I heard she was going to be in this. And then that was it. I think she had maybe 30 seconds. So, but she's in the Who Killed Bunny flash of faces.
Yes. Well, they just don't want to leave anybody
hopefully that
out.
means she's coming back, because I'd like to see a little more of her. But if not, they're really just anybody who is, walked by the set is going to have their picture on that thing.
Yeah. Well, I think they're definitely trying to not give anything away by who they include and don't include in there, right?
Yeah. Alrighty. So, we keep wondering what's going on, what's for real, what's not. Oh, so many threads. So very many threads. This is like, this show is a little bit like cat hair. You think you found them all, and then there's more, and there's another one, and you think you can clean them up, but they just keep turning up. Howard, really, you're just going to have to get rid of the cat and maybe the apartment and
start over in a whole new
get a whole new wardrobe, and take a whole bunch of showers because there's always cat hair.
Right.
So, moving on to Rutherford Falls, Season 1, Episode 6, Negotiations, although not really so much with the negotiations. Rutherford Inc. proved itself to be greatly underestimating the task of negotiating with Terry by sending, really, a very ridiculous personage to do their negotiating. Really sort of insulting. I mean, I'm not necessarily on Team
Not
Terry
sort
on this,
of,
but
definitely insulting.
but if this is who they send to squash you like a bug, that's a diss.
Yes.
Even Nathan recognized that was a diss. They said they're sending their best, and what they send is this kid who Terry pretty much dismantles delightfully.
Yes.
And Terry and Nathan share a lovely moment at the deli. What is it? Restaurant that was insufficiently pickled, but Terry got Nathan some pickles, and they had a nice moment where they both acknowledged that guy was trying to think of a nice word, was insufficient to the task.
Right.
And that was unfortunate. So, at the end of the episode, somebody arrives in a helicopter who we assume is going to be a little more imposing, but still doesn't seem like the team of, 30-some people that Nathan was anticipating with the bagels.
Right. So. God, enough bagels, cream cheese, fruit. Like he was ready.
Yes. Still doesn't look like it's that much, but perhaps it's a truly much more impressive
helicopter
person who will not have to go use the restroom every few minutes and will not start crying in our negotiations.
Right.
Anyway, so, and the other plot thread on this one was Riggins Museum in its sorry state, and I guess the two young casino employees who enjoy heckling her, she challenged them, what are you doing for your people? And so they put a Facebook message out asking everybody to make their contributions to the museum, and they pile it up with an enormous load of stuff that I need to remove from my house, too, so I recognize it. Everybody cleared things out. But of course, it turns out that everything has a story. And so she's able to make an exhibit out of much of it, not all of it. Some of it goes into the archives, which is in fact a dumpster.
Just a dumpster.
But Josh helps her out adorably. And
somehow this all takes place in like a day, or the timing of it confused me just a little.
Yeah. It was definitely one of those art has to wash over you sort of things. Yeah, it was cute. That's fine. And Terry's daughter's beadwork of different emojis goes up in the museum.
Very cute.
Were those emojis, or were they logos of things?
No, they were emojis.
They were emojis. So that will be possibly a point for another time. And Terry's temporary secretary appears to be maybe very ditzily threatening him.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely gonna come back.
She mentioned it enough times. So the ridiculous young lawyer does this thing to Terry where he pours a bag of M&Ms and says, this is all the money we have, and here's what we will give you. And he takes out 3 M&Ms and says they'll give him $3 million. And Terry says, pours out the entire bowl of M&Ms and says they want $300 million and you better send some more impressive lawyers. And the kid, goes out with his tail between his legs. Right. But the secretary was there and heard all this and said, boy, people would be pretty mad if they knew you gave up $3 million. And she says this a few times in her ditzy way. And so he starts to go, oh.
Yeah.
This could be a problem. So, well, he lets her off the task of cleaning up after his M&M stunt.
Right.
So he was friendly to Nathan after that, and I don't know if that's related or not, but maybe he just needs a friend. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we had a brief meeting with the PR person who was really not happy and not interested in talking about it. So onward we go, and also the mayor rejected Nathan's perfectly reasonable suggestion to have a tunnel built under the statue. So the statue can stay where it is, but cars can still go through.
Right.
So.
that whole scene was, and they're like, okay, same time next week. She's like, no, this is not
We don't have a regular meeting. You just show up here during my lunch.
Then I can't eat my lunch.
Oh, well, you knew what was involved when you ran for the job, lady. Don't complain now. So, next week on Only Murders in the Building, Season 2, Episode 9, the penultimate episode, where stuff better start getting woven together. We gotta make
all those cat hairs
out of all this cat hair. I expect a giant lint roller to be involved here. Come on, let's pick up some of these points you've been scattering everywhere. Giant bag of dip full of clues. Anyway, it's called Sparring Partners. And then Rutherford Falls, Season 1, Episode 7, Rutherford Inc. The big black helicopter. And presumably a shark inside. So we shall see what happens on those. And that is it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.